Hi everyone. Let me elaborate. We are here for grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplustudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 7 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter persons. The lessons we're going to cover today are percents of numbers and many amounts, percents of numbers, word problems, solve percent equations, solve percent equation word problems. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Grade 7 math. What we on right now is percents. Let's just start with the lesson that is percents of numbers and many amounts. 25% of 56. Calculate 25% means 25 over 100. So 25 is the part you need to calculate the whole number. 56 is the whole number. We need to calculate 25% of 56. So we need to make a proportion that is n divided by 56 equals 25 over 100. So that would be n over 56 equals 25 over 100. Part divided by 56. N is the part. 56 is the whole number and 25 over 100. So just do calculations, that would be 14. So the correct option is 14. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, the first one is 60% of 20. So we need to calculate n divided by 20. 20 is the whole number. So n divided by 20 equals 60 over 100. So just do calculation. That would be that is n equals 60 times 20 over 100. That is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. 60% of 20 is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 12. Complete the following statement, that is 80% of 65. So how do you calculate 80% of 65? You have to do n divided by 65 because you need to calculate 80% of 65, right? So n divided by 65 equals 80 over 100. So which is the correct option? That is n equals 80 times 65 over 100. So 80 times 65 is 80 times 65 is 5200. So that is n equals 52. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 52. Option number 2 is the correct option. 30% of 90, which is the correct option. 30% of 90 is 27. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is 40% of 15. So which is the correct option? Very good. The correct option is 6. So 40% of 15 is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. %20 of 55, which is the correct option. So 55% of 20, that would be n over 55 equals 20 over 100. So the correct option is 11. Option number 2 is the correct option. 10% of 17 is, sorry, 100% of 17 is 100% of 17 is 100. Option number 100. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 100. What is 60% of 10, which is the correct option? 60% of 10 is That is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is 30% of 10, which is the correct option? Thirty percent of 10 is 3. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is persons of numbers word problems. Let's just start with the word problems. Let's just start with the test questions. Hannah has a new beaded necklace. 70% of 30 beads on Hannah's necklace are blue. How many blue beads are there on Hannah's necklace? Option number 2 is the correct option, that is 21 beads. Option number 2 is the correct option. For a company picnic, Tristan ordered a box of fresh baked gingerbread cookies and sugar cookies. The box included a total of 68 cookies, and 75% of them were gingerbread. How many gingerbread cookies did Tristan get? So you need to calculate 75% of 68. So 75% of 68 means you need to do and divided by 68 equals 75 over n equals 75 of 60%, 7 over 100. 75 times 68 divided by 100 equals that is 51 gingerbread cookies. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 51 gingerbread cookies. So 20% of the tickets sold at a water park were child tickets. If the park sold 55 tickets in all, how many child tickets did it sell? So which is the correct option? So you need to calculate 25% of 55. So which is the correct option? The correct option is 11 tickets. Option number 2 is the correct option. The students in Jaden's class got to choose between pizza and burger for the celebration on the last day of school. 90% of the students picked the pizza. If there are 10% students all in Jaden class, how many students preferred the pizza? So which is the correct option? The correct option is 9 students. Option number 1 is the correct option. Of the 75 coffee mugs at Elizabeth's Pancake House are dirty. How many dirty coffee mugs are there at the Pancake House? So which is the correct option? 70, 80% of 75 is 60 coffee mugs. Option number 2 is the correct option. India bought cupcakes for her sister's birthday party. 50% of the 40 cupcakes had sprinkles on top. How many cupcakes had sprinkles? So you need to calculate for 50% of 40. So which is the correct option? That is 20 cupcakes. Option number two is the correct option. Yesterday there were 90 problems assigned for math homework. Emily did 30% of them correctly. How many problems did Emily get right? So which is the correct option? That would be 27 problems. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself every today. Let me just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is solve percent equations. 75% of what number is 72? 72 is the part. You need to calculate the whole number. The part is 70. You need the percent is 75%. So 72 divided by n is the whole number. 72 divided by n equals 75 over 100. So which is the correct option? N equals 96. Let's just start with the test questions. Complete the following statement. Write your answer as a decimal or whole number. What percent of 10 is 7? We need to calculate the percentage. You are given the part and the whole number. Part divided by whole equals n over 100. N equals 7 times 100 over 10. That is 700 divided by 10. N equals 70. So the correct option is option number 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 70%. The correct option is option number 2, that is 70%. Complete the following statement. What percent of 92 is 69? You are given the whole number and the part. You need to calculate what percent the part is of the whole number. So that would be 69 divided by 92 equals n over 100. N equals 69 times 100 over 92. So which is the correct option? That is 6900 divided by 92. The correct option is 75%. Option number 70%. Option number 2 is the correct option. 75% is the correct option. 60% of what number is 18? The correct option is 60% of 30 is 18. Option number 1 is the correct option, that is 30. Complete the following statement. Write your answer as a decimal or whole number. What percent of 2 equals 1? That is 50%. Option number 2 is the correct option. What percent of 90 is 9? Which is the correct option? That is 10% of 90 is 9. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself every day. Let me just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is solve percent equations word problems. Let's just start with the test questions. Steven's tea shop has caffeinated tea and decaffeinated tea. The tea shop served 70 teas in all, 63 of which were caffeinated. What percentage of the teas were caffeinated? We need to calculate the percentage. You are given the whole and the part. 63 is the part, 70 is the whole number. You need to calculate the n. So which is the correct option? The correct option is 90%. Yes, the correct option is 90%. Option number 2 is the correct option. At Maria's swimwear, there are 3 bikini style and 7 other types of swimsuit. What percentage of the swimsuits styles are bikini? So, which is the correct option? So, you are given the whole and the part. You need to calculate the percentage. So, which is the correct option? That is 45%. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 45%. Oh, that is 30%, sorry. Alice ordered a set of blue and brown pens. She received 20 blue pens and 30 brown pens. So, which is the correct option? 30 blue pens and what percentage? She received 20 blue pens and 30 brown pens. What percentage of the pens were blue? The total pens were 50, right? And 20 of them are blue. You need to calculate. I think that is 40%. That is 40%. The correct option is 40%. Option number one is the correct option. The water slides have 33 temporary employees and 11 permanent employees. What percentage of the employees at the water slides are temporary? So the correct option is that is what percentage of the employees at the water slides are temporary? So 33 divided by 44 because 33 plus 11 is 44. So total employees are 44, right? We need to calculate the what percentage of the employees are temporary. So you need to calculate n over 100. That is 3300 divided by 44. So the correct option is 75%. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 7 math. The chapter we were working on is percents. The lessons we were working on is percents of numbers and money amounts, percents of number word problems, solve percent equation and word problems. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. Later today, let me just move on to. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. So, if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. You can write down the question in the chat box if you need help. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions for which you need help. Any questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next